What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Enigmatica 2 Expert. Oh yeah, guys. So, since last episode, we've been doing some things around the base. One of those things is, well, I've been using these maximum compact machines. So I made a maximum size compact machines to contain the compact machines miniaturization field. Yep, felt like, we got a lot of things going on around the base. Things are starting to feel a little bit laggy. Let's try and put things that aren't like essential into these things. So yeah, for one, we put these in here. I don't really know if this has much impact on FPS, but our base is already laggy, so anything else that we're adding there, yeah, definitely don't want it. So now that we have that inside here, if we need to, it's possible for us to set up some kind of an automation to automatically generate different things that we need out of those miniaturization fields. That's something that we possibly might look at in the future. Not entirely sure if that's something that we need to do. Other things that I've done is down below here, I have added a couple more of the maximum compact machines, and I got rid of some of these automated processes that we had over here. One of them was to make the cubic boron, and the other one was to make the calcium sulfate, I think. Yeah, this is the calcium sulfate. So pretty much the whole machine process should be set up exactly the same as it was before. I tried to label everything exactly as it was. I took like a screenshot of the machines and then I tore them all down and then referenced the screenshot. I kind of rebuilt it. So some things are kind of the same. Some things are slightly different. But yeah, so we have that in this machine. And then we have another one over here that has our cubic boron nitride in it. Yep, that's right. So same kind of a deal. It's pretty much our exact same setup. So the idea is trying to get like these multi-machine setups that are like for one specific purpose into kind of like out of the base into their own little multi-block, or I guess compact machine, just to try and help with lag. So we have a wireless access point here. So I'm able to go into my crafting terminal whenever we need to grab stuff. Yep, and then all of the channels are just coming right off of this capability adapter. Now, I do believe this thing can support 32 channels, but if it can't, I'm actually not sure if it can, but if it can't, we can pipe in and then have a P2P in here and then have like, all the channels that way. But yeah, right now we're just running off normal channels. Yeah, so out here where the capability adapters are, those are just touching right onto our normal channels. This is after our last P2P here. So yeah, this one's using a few channels, this one's using a few channels, and then we have, what is that, 5 more channels available in this area. So yeah, I guess if we wanted to, we could move this over so it's on our P2P cables and run a P2P inside there and save some channels that way, but whatever, it's all good. Now, it does seem to help out a little bit with our FPS, but right now, as I'm recording, I'm showing that we're hitting like around 80, and things are looking a little jerky around here. Yeah, too many just random things around, particle effects and whatnot. So yeah, trying to clean that up as much as possible, like what we did with moving our storage into a compact machine as well. Now, I did update this pack. We're on not the latest version. We're on 1.66C or something. I don't know. But anyway, one thing I did notice in the book here, quest book here, it shows next to each one of these different sections which ones have quests available for that are completed or whatever, right? I think the ones with the check mark show that they're completed fully, so that's really nice too. Great addition, I like that. So if we come in here, we can claim these guys, this one here, and finally this one down here, and that should be all of the rewards that we need to claim throughout the book. I actually took a little bit of time before I started recording here and claimed a whole lot more that we needed to do. So we can open these up and see if we get anything else that's pretty cool. So that's a reinforced conversion kit, 3 of them. That's not bad. Flux infused battle wrench. Arctic fur. Well, we don't need that stuff anymore, I don't think. A tape measure, that's always good. Chili dog, music disc. What else do we get here? Another set of reinforced conversion kits. An observer, 8 of them. Okay. Eyes of Ender. We get purple blocks. Sunday roast, Ender offset wand. I'm actually not sure what that is. That's from the chisel mod. I think I should know what that is, but I have no idea what that is. Anyway, and then we get tacos. Oh, we got 4 more of these to go. Southern style breakfast. We get a revolver, basic energy IO crystal, finally an eye chisel. Cool. So this ender offset wand, shift right click, I am not actually sure what this thing does. It doesn't look like it's doing much. If I look at the uses or the recipes, does it show? No, I have no idea what this thing does. I should probably look that up. Aha! So I found out what the ender offset wand does. So for instance, in the chisel mod, when you place down some of these chisel textures that are like a big multi-block texture like this, say you want to do a 3x3 and you have this fan like that, well, that doesn't look very good. So what you would have to do without this wand is place another block up here and have that be where your fan is. Well, maybe you don't want to do that and you want the blocks to be right here. Well, that's where the ender offset wand comes in handy, because now you can move the textures how you want them. Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? I learned something today about chisel. I thought I knew everything about it. I absolutely didn't. So yeah, this is really, really neat that you can do that. Anyway, so that's what the ender offset wand does. Well, since we're not really doing anything with the chisel mod or any of those textures, I don't think that really applies to any other blocks outside of the chisel mod. So probably not going to be too super useful for us, but it's definitely good to know. All right. So now that we have that done, yeah, we were continually working on trying to get an infinity catalyst for the dimension builder. So getting these singularities is one of those things that we've been working towards, and we will probably be working towards this some more in the future. But what I thought we would do today is look at something different. So this angle sight stuff here, angel sight, I'm not actually sure how you pronounce that, does require a whole bunch of different materials. Some of those are these thermal foundation clathrates. Is that how you pronounce it? Maybe. And each one of these comes from one of the thermal foundation ores. Now, these ores can only be found on other planets. It actually says right here on the information, this ore generates on other planets. So for instance, if we want the energized netherrack one, we need to go to Mercury, Kepler, we can go to Venus or Novus. So those are our options. If we want to get the destabilized redstone clathrate, then we have to go to Terra Nova, Europa, Kelt 2AB, Proxima B, or Stella. So pretty much where we're at right now is, in order for us to make any more progress, we are going to have to do a little bit of advanced rocketry. Yep, that's what we're doing today, boys. Okay, so it has been a minute since we last did advanced rocketry. We went to the moon and we did what we had to do in order to progress a little bit. Whoa, a little bit of a lag spike. Yeah, and this is our super awesome rocket that we still haven't done much with since whenever we did advanced rocketry, probably like 20, 30 episodes ago. I actually don't remember how long it's been. We are using liquid starlight as fuel, though. I do know that. Yep, and then we have the rocket assembling machine. So pretty much what we need to do at this point. Let's go into the advanced rocketry section of our quest book here. We can see that we have a bunch of the beginning stuff done, but we are stopped right here at a space station assembler. Now, advanced rocketry, in my experience, you can go to the moon and back, and that's fine. But in order to go anywhere further than that, you need to get a space station. Then you could travel to your space station, and then you can get yourself a warp core. And from there, you can dial in other places, and you can move your space station to the other planets. So you don't have to fly your rocket to other planets. You fly to the space station, which then turns into like your starship, and then you can go off. So space station assembler? Space Station Assembler, I think. Yeah, that's what it's called. Cool. So we need to get ourselves advanced circuits, a rocket assembly machine, some dilithium dust, and titanium gears. I think we should be able to do pretty much all of these things, but it has been a little bit of time since we last touched advanced rocketry, so I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so let's go into here. Yeah, this is where we're at right now for our dimension builder. Let's clear that out. So we want titanium gears. So we have that on AutoCraft. That's awesome. So we'll just go ahead and make 2 of those. Dilithium dust. All right, so we have the dilithium ore, but we've not done anything with it yet. So if we smelt it, we get it into dilithium dust. What else can we do? We can pulverize it for 2. That seems like something that's pretty nice. Another dilithium turns into 6, and you get some tectonic petroleum out of it. But I don't think we're really going to be messing with that at all. Is there any other better ways of getting dilithium out of this? Just so we know. No, that's not much better, not much better. So really, it seems like pulverizer is probably going to be the old standby here. All right, we'll just grab a stack of that and throw it into our pulverizer. Like so, and we should have a bunch of dilithium dust. Cool. So now if we do this, yeah, we have a good portion of that done. So advanced circuits. I think we had those on auto craft from a while ago. And yeah, it looks like everything's good to go. So we'll tell it to do that. And then a rocket assembly machine. We don't have that on auto craft, so I will have to go through and craft one of these. So how much of this do we have? Okay, so we're going to need 2 more titanium gears. Titanium gears. Okay, so we got that cooking up. We're going to need concrete, which we have. Cool, so we have those. We need 2 control circuits, or 2 circuit boards, I'm sorry, right? Control circuit board. Control circuit board. Yes, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that, just making sure. Next thing we need is a user interface. Craft up one of those guys, and we are going to need 2 titanium rods. All right, that's easy enough. I think the titanium rods, if I remember correctly, you can actually put that through a lathe, which we have created, and we have not set up any recipes with. 1 ingot turns into 8 rods, whereas our metal press that we're currently using only turns into 2. So we might want to take a look at doing that in the future, but for right now, I think we'll just do it like this. Okay, so we have the rocket assembly machine, which should allow us to craft a space station assembler. Awesome. Okay, so quest complete, space station assembler. All right, so this one's now done. Let's go ahead and read the text here. It says space station assembler is used to assemble space stations. Makes sense. You'll need the same setup as for building rockets. The only difference is being space stations don't need fuel. And when they're built, they compress into item form. The item then needs to be launched into space with a rocket with a satellite bay. The rocket will be lost unless you give it a guidance computer with the space station ID chip in it, in which case it'll land on the newly made space station. You can travel there by making a rocket and placing the space station ID chip in the guidance computer. Make sure to always have backups of your space station ID chip. Okay, and that's in red text. So pretty much what we need to do is we need to get ourselves the space station assembler, assemble some kind of a space station, get it into an item form, put it into a, what did it say? A satellite bay onto our rocket. And then we need a space station ID chip on our guidance computer. Okay, so there's a few different things that we have to do here. All right, so let's open up our loot chest. That's the first thing we need to do. So we had 12 overclocker upgrades. All right, we'll put those away for now. So going back to the quest book here. So space station ID chip, these are one of the things that we need to make. It says it's extremely important that you don't lose your space station ID chip once it has been set to your space station. If you lose a chip and don't have any other means of transport to the space station, it's lost. Luckily, it can be copied in the satellite builder multi-block. I am fairly certain though, all we have to do is just set an advanced dislocator somewhere on our space station and then we're good to go. Like the space station doesn't actually move like when you're warping around. Yeah, I think it always stays in the same position. It's just the world around it moves, if that makes sense. But anyway, so we need to make the space station ID chip. So that's a linker plus a basic circuit. That is what it wants us to make, right? Yeah, okay. So do we have a linker? We do. And then we have a basic circuit. We do. Perfect. Let's do it. Craft it. Oh, the linker doesn't want to go in there. Probably because of NBT data. So there we go. There is a space station ID chip. So that's another quest complete. Take the middle loot chest and we'll pop that one open. Speed upgrades. All right. So moving on from here, Satellite builder. Yep, this is another thing that we need to do. So a satellite builder, that requires a bunch of stuff that looks crazy. How much of this do we have? All right, a little bit. So we need a titanium plate. Easy, that'll craft up. We need a data storage unit. So that is a precision assembler thing. And we don't have a craft for that. So let's do a crafting pattern for this guy. And this was in which machine? A precision assembler. Okay, so if we throw that into there, we should be able to craft that. Data. Wait, did I click 1,000? What did I just do here? Next, I think I clicked minus 1,000. All right, so we can do that, and that should all craft up just fine. It's got to do some basic circuits first. But yeah, I think we should be good. Looks like we're good. Yeah. Data storage unit. Awesome. So now that we have that, we need to get ourselves an anvil. Well, we can just craft that real quick. That's easy enough. Iron. Let's craft up 2,000 iron out of our essence. That'll give us the blocks that we need for our anvil. Okay, so anvil's done. We need a saw blade assembly. We do not have that in auto craft. And that is made with iron plates, iron saw blade, and some iron rods. So let's craft that. We need iron plates. We need an iron saw blade. Yeah, we don't have that either. So iron rods. If we had the lathe, this would probably be a good time to use the lathe. Because I think you get 8 iron rods, right? Yeah, so we definitely should start using that. We have it built and we don't have any patterns into it. But yeah, it's something we probably should look at doing. Okay. Let me try that again. There we go. So there is our saw blade assembly. So now we are just missing a motor. And we can tell it to craft the enhanced motor. That should craft up relatively quickly, I do believe. We have to craft up some titanium ingots, so that might be the slowest part here. It kind of looks like it is. And there's our motor. Cool. And there's the satellite builder. We did it. Okay. Not bad. And quest complete. Cool. So let's take the bottom loot chest. We'll claim it, pop it, and we get some ice. Put that away. Okay. So now that we have the satellite builder, the next thing is the Astrobody data processor. I'm not actually sure what that is. Oxygen vent, gravity controller. All right, well, let's do this thing. The Astrobody data processor is a multi-block machine used to research asteroids when provided with information from satellites. Asteroids contain extremely rare metals in abundance. Asteroids have been custom made for this pack. See that crazy web address for more information. Okay. So we want to make an Astrobody data processor. And that requires some stuff. Okay. So planet ID chips and stuff like that. And we have hardly anything here. Tracking. We don't, whoops, tracking. We can make 2 of those. We need planet ID. We don't have planet ID chips craftable, but we can make the crafts for those. So let's go ahead and do that. That is a satellite. We don't have satellite ID chips. Let's do that one. Oh, that's real simple. Okay, so 2 new crafts going into our system here. I don't know where to put them. I guess we'll just stick them right here. That should be fine. So we wanted to make, which one's the planet? 2 of those guys. Okay, so those should craft up. Now, how much of this are we missing? Okay, so we need 10 plates, 3 of them, if I remember correctly, and a user interface. Cool. So everything should be crafting up right now that we need. Yep, we got it. So there's the Astrobody data processor. Cool. So we need 5 stone slabs. I'm trying to right click in there. You know what? That is probably a problem with mouse tweaks since I have updated the pack. This needs to be turned off. That needs to be turned off. Okay, so if we go back in here and I hold this stack, I right click, those now go into the system like they should. All right, so now that's done, So we need 3 data buses, an input hatch, output hatch, and a power input plug. Yeah, we don't have a data hatch, do we? Let me go back to the quest book. Yeah, data bus is what it's called. Data bus. So this is probably one we should auto craft. So that's data storage plus machine structure. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll put this down here next to these guys. And that was called a data bus. No, data bus. We need 3 of those. Okay, so go ahead and craft those up. That should go relatively quickly, I would think. Yep, looks like that is processing just fine. All right, so there's 3 of those. That should complete the quest, but we do need the hatches for the setting up the actual structure. So there's the input hatch, the output hatch. I don't remember what else this thing needed. I think that might be pretty close. Oh, power input plug. Power input plug. And there we go. Cool. So now we have everything complete so we can do this Astrobody data processor multi-block. Okay, so we'll grab the top loot chest and mending moss, which we're not using. Cool. All right, so now that we have all of this stuff, we should be able to set that up if we're going to research asteroids, which I think we're probably not going to do until we get our space station set up. So we kind of got a little bit of ahead of ourselves, but that's fine. We'll put that away. What else can we do here that we need to? An oxygen vent. Yeah, we're definitely going to want an oxygen vent on our space station so we are producing oxygen. Otherwise, we'll be in a vacuum, right? It says the oxygen vent, when supplied with oxygen and power, will fill the room it's in with oxygen, given that it's airtight. Wow, I had a hard problem with that one. The size it can fill with oxygen is limited, but large. Okay. Well, we're not going to be building like an epic structure for a space station. We're going to be building something that's going to work. It'll contain what we need, a place for our rocket to land, and the warp core. That's pretty much all we need. But yeah, let's go ahead and make an oxygen vent. Oxygen vent is made with some stuff here. So, okay, so we need steel fan. We have that in autocraft, easy. We need iron bars. Let's go ahead and just craft one of those. It'll make 16. And a liquid fuel tank. Okay, we have that. And then we need another motor. I don't know if it has to be this green one. I think any one works. But yeah, we have the green one on autocraft. The enhanced motor. So we'll just go ahead and craft that one up. And that should be pretty much good to go as soon as that thing's done. There we go. And here's our oxygen vent. Awesome. Cool. So that's done. Bottom loot chest. Pop it. And we get a wenge door. That's an interesting texture. What does that even look like? It looks kind of like the texture, but I don't know. The texture kind of looked like a VHS tape or something. It was weird. A cassette tape. Anyway, moving on from this guy, if we do that, CO2 scrubbers. So the CO2 scrubber with carbon collection cartridge in will decrease the amount of oxygen the oxygen vent uses. You can place up to 2 next to an oxygen vent. The rotation of the CO2 scrubbers matters. The carbon collecting cartridges will be destroyed over time. Okay, so this just makes the O2 that we're producing, yeah, it uses a lot less, right? So that's what we need to do. So we need, I guess, 2 CO2 scrubbers and 2 carbon collection cartridges. It says you can place 2 next to an oxygen vent, but this only wants 1. I'm going to go ahead and craft 2 of them. So the CO2 scrubber, this thing does what? Okay, so it's pretty much the same thing. And the cartridge costs just iron sheets, iron bars. Let me go and craft those and we'll continue on. All right, guys, so it looks like we've taken up a bit of time here crafting. There's not a lot of time left in today's episode. But let's go ahead and build 2 of these CO2 scrubbers. Oh, I need more iron bars. Iron bar. Do one more recipe. Okay, so that's done. And there is our second CO2 scrubber. We have our 2 carbon collection cartridges. Those stack apparently. Cool. So these will go next to our oxygen vent that needs liquid oxygen locks put into it so it can actually produce an atmosphere inside the rocket. I'm sorry, inside our space station. So we should complete a quest now by having those things done. So let's go here and this, claim it, pop it, and we get ourselves a music disc. Cool. All right, so now that we have all of that done, we need to get ourselves a space station. Yes. So I went ahead and I built another, well, what do you call this? A launch pad? Yeah. Same thing like we did for building a rocket right next to it. Exactly the same. It is two recipes worth of the structure tower. So 16 blocks tall, including this bottom block down there that's in the ground one. Anyway, so we put our space station assembler here. I did make a satellite bay. So that is 4 titanium rods and machine structure, and then our space station ID chip. You can see the chip goes into this slot, and the satellite bay just goes right here. So we need to build something on here. We can scan it, and then we can tell it to build. So we're just going to do something very, very simple. We're just going to make a quartz platform here. It's a 5x5. We're not even going to make an enclosure. We just want a place for a rocket to land. When we get to space, we have O2 on our suit, so we will be able to breathe, but we will want to have some kind of an enclosure so when we're not out in space, like we're not using up our oxygen. Anyway, so that's like pretty much the basic thing that you have to do. Now, we could build this out and make it so there's like a 3x3 inside of this or something, but there's not a lot of reason to do that right now. So anyway, let's scan this. So it'll go through the entire scan procedure. This would be faster if we made this thing shorter, but I made it exactly the same as our other one over here. Okay, so it says scanned, and then we can click build. Now it's doing the same thing. Yeah, now it's taking the satellite bay and the satellite ID chip, and we should get an item. Yeah, space station container, and then we got our space station ID chip, which is assigned to station 1. Okay, so now over here on our rocket, yeah, this thing, we need to, well, how do we do this? Shift right click, disassemble. Is that disassembled now? I think that's disassembled. It looks pretty much the same, right? So yeah, we need to remove the seat. We need to remove our guidance computer. Actually, I guess we can leave the guidance computer there. We need to put a satellite bay onto here. And then we need to put a seat back on there. Hopefully that's going to work. Let's scan it again. Hopefully it's not going to say that I need more thrust or something like that. And everything's going to be just fine by adding that one block on there. Not enough fuel capacity. No! What if I make this thing smaller, or if I move the satellite bay over here? Let's try that. If I move the satellite bay over one. Man, we had this problem the last time we tried building this thing. We were running into all sorts of issues just trying to get it to work. Let's try scanning it again. Hopefully that'll work. All right, and not enough fuel capacity. Oh boy. So liquid fuel tank, do we have any more of those? Yes we do. So if I put one here and just do that, I know this rocket is looking pretty ugly. If we scan that, is this thing gonna work? Yeah, I'm not sure how much fuel capacity we need. Maybe the graphs actually give us more information. I haven't been paying attention to that. That's it. That's all we had to do. It's just that one thing. You know what? I'm good with that. But what I do want to do, actually, just to make this thing look a little bit less weird, let's take this out, guidance computer. We're going to move this over one. We'll put that right in the center, and then we'll put our guidance computer over here, and then we'll put our seat directly on top of that fuel. What's the worst that could happen? We got to scan it one more time just to make sure that thing is suitable for going into space. It's really not, but according to this mod, it should be, because we didn't really change anything. Yep, that's fine. All right, so we'll click build, and I'll do the whole building process. And then we got to go ahead and get this thing fueled up. We're going to need another linker to link our fueling station to our rocket, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, we don't have any fuel. So a linker, very easy. So it was like a shift right click on this, and then a shift right click on this. So you can see there's a thing there, and that should be fueling our rocket. Yeah, you can see the fuel is now going up, so that's using our liquid starlight that we have right here. Man, we have 700 buckets of it. That's a whole lot of it. So yeah, that's going into our rocket, and when that's all filled, we should be able to go into space. Now, the other thing we want to do, we want to, yeah, click satellite bay here, and then we want to put our space station container in there. And then for our guidance computer, We want to tell it Space Station 1. I'm pretty sure that's what we have to do. So this will go up into space. It'll deploy our satellite, our space station, and then this will land onto the space station. I'm pretty sure that's how that all works. But anyway, we are pretty much out of time for today. So next episode, we'll go ahead and launch into space. We'll get things set up there, and we will start the process of going to other planets and hopefully getting these other things that we need. But anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on the episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.